again and welcome back. My name's Annie and this is my creative detour. Today I'm going to be working on the junk journal 3 Under 30, again ran by Margaret from Seven Plaza and Toni from Crafty by Toni. And I'm going to be making some retro, or maybe a little bit vintage, but mostly retro styled tags. So I'll get my resources ready and we'll get started. Okay, I have already made a couple, but I will show you those at the end. I've made a few different ones. What I did was I went through quite a lot of my old newspapers and old magazines. For those of you that are new, you might not know that my great aunt, she used to save quite a lot of postcards and magazines and newspapers and things like that, and stamps of significant events. So this one here you can see is the Women's Day, and this is a souvenir issue for the Sydney Opera House opening. And it was October the 29th, 1973, and it's in perfect condition. So I went through quite a few of these and found some really great images of some paper dolls. And I'm going to do some retro styled tags out of some of those resources. So they'll definitely have a 70s feel to them. Some of the images in here are just fabulous. My nana and my great aunt, they used to crochet and knit me clothes, and I used to have clothes like these. Anyway, let's not digress too much. That's where I have got most of my images from. Now, if you are new, welcome, and stick around and think about subscribing. And to my new subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing and welcome to the community. And hi to all my regulars. Thanks for always coming back. I really appreciate it. Now, let's start with Fabulous Lady. I have 2 ladies and 1 man. Let's get my mouse and just take note of the time. The clock starts now. Here she is, and I have glued her. You can see she's out of a magazine, and I've glued her to a little bit of cardstock and then fussy cut her out. Isn't she wonderful? And I'm going to ink her up around the edges. Just get rid of that white edge. And I have done a little bit of cutting and die cutting because I don't want to do that on the camera. I don't generally do that on the camera anyway. And I've done some embossing as well. Just dry embossing, not heat embossing. Okay. Now I'm going to start by punching the corners on this. So that might be a little bit loud on the video, but I might be able to edit it out. Now I'm using a retired Stampin' Up punch, and it's the very best trio punch, and I use it all the time. I'm just going to glue these to the cardstock, and I'm just using a little bit of graphic 45 scrapbook paper and some cardstock, ivory coloured cardstock. And I'll just glue that down. Because it's scrapbook paper, I can probably use some art glitter glue. I love mid-century modern, which I think I've spoken about before. So I love that sort of 50s and 60s. It's definitely waned off for me by the 80s. Some of the 70s I still quite like. Some of the patterns of the 70s and the colours. I love the geometric, repetitive geometric patterns of the 70s. But the 80s, even though I was a teenager in the 80s, the style of the 80s doesn't do anything for me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with her is I've die cut out some circles. I'm going to put some big circles behind her. Let's just work out where we want her. We don't want her arm going off too much. Maybe a little bit will be okay. Okay, let's glue this one on. Yes, so I am overjoyed and so grateful that my aunt used to collect things, because I am able to tap into that resource fairly regularly. Now I'm just lifting up that corner of that oval just so that I can tuck something down. And I have cut a sentiment out of Tim Holtz's Snarkies. All of the sentiments today are snarky sentiments. And this one says, I didn't see anyone today, so I'm wearing this again tomorrow. I do that all the time. I wear the same thing twice. And I'm going to use another die cut and cut it in half. I'm going to tuck that there behind her and glue that sentiment on there. So I think we need to stick her down. So the challenge is going well, isn't it? There's so many fantastic creative people doing fabulous things. All right, we'll stick her on. Oh, I don't need to go down that far. Now this advertisement was for some sewing patterns. Now I'm going to, before that dries, I'm going to stick in this other little circle underneath her shoulder there. We might take off a little bit of that glue that I was a bit too generous with, and we can cut some of this off. Let's do that so we get our boundaries. All right, I might save that one for later. Let's stick our sentiment on here. Actually, we'll stick both the cards together. Now you'll see that I've doubled up. You think, why are you doubling up, Annie? The reason I've doubled up is because I really like my tags to be quite sturdy and stiff, and I tend to try and cut the cardstock in different directions so that the grain is perpendicular to itself. So this grain of this paper might be going this way, and this one will be going this way. And then when you glue it together, it laminates it together and makes them a little bit more stable and less likely to bow. Oh, she looks fabulous, doesn't she? I say that often, but she does. She looks great. Okay. Okay. I kind of like this little one down here going off the corner and that one up there. Let's put them on. Let's do it. We'll glue her hair down. I might be able to get this one done today. That would be a first if I manage it, but I shouldn't speak too soon because I've got eyelets to do and all that sort of stuff. We'll do all that at the end. So let's see how I go. Now for the back, to be able to journal on this, I've just die cut out a large circle out of the same coloured cardstock, and we'll glue that on the back as well so that there is somewhere to do a little bit of journaling on all that pattern. All right, we'll cut that down. Oh yes, she looks fun, doesn't she? She's in a world of bubbles. And she's wearing the same dress that she was wearing yesterday. And she probably made it from the dress pattern. All right, let's set her there and clear this mess. And we'll go on to the next one. So I have some wonderful 70s paper, and I have this gentleman here. He looks a little bit like a bit of a hustler. Not a gangster, but a bit of a hustler to me. And I have die cut out some 70s gift wrapping paper. And it's got a little bit of silver metallic on it and an ivory background, and then different shades of lime and chartreuse and, citrusy yellow. So we'll glue that on. Now I'm going to have to use some glue stick for this because the paper is very thin. And I just die cut out some ovals, and it was just some dies that I bought from Amazon, and I don't think they had a brand. Do the other side. Well, okay, that looks good. Now I think the pattern goes this way. Better get it the right way round. They look like droplets to me. And I have cut out 2 pieces of cardstock. Now, I don't want to give you measurements of what size I'm making my tags because every tag that I'm making is a different size, and it's purely about the size of the focal point. So you can see he's shorter than her, and so my tag's shorter, and I think it's a little bit narrower. So just cut your tags so that they look balanced. Okay, I'm going to punch the corner punch, and I'm going to glue this together. Now you can see that there is a little bit of embossing on this. I just put like a textured emboss on it. It's not very 70s, but I had to work with what I had. So it's just got a little bit of texture to it. I'm going to glue these two together. So once again, I can't remember whether I did it with every one that I cut, if I cut it in different directions. It wouldn't be uncommon for me to do that, just so that it doesn't bow as much. Now we'll get the text the right way round. I'm going to put one of these here. I'm going to put our man on. He's fabulous, isn't it? Oh, there you go. Said it again. Yes, he's on a bit of a mission, isn't he? Now let's see what we have for our sentiment for that. Out of Snarky again. This one is, I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. It looks like to me that he's going out on the town, maybe hitting the clubs, meet with his friends, and maybe have a game of poker. That looks about right. I'm going to glue that on and hang it off the top, and that's going to give us our spot for our hole. And I did the same with him, that I just cut him out of the magazine. You can see I put him on black cardstock, and then I'll be able to stick the back one on. Okay, and let's glue him on. Now, I might just set him underneath my mat along with her and let them just sit for a bit. And we'll go on to the third one. Now I have our lovely lady here, and I have stamped and dry embossed some little hexagonals. But let me just think about this. I think I'm going to do a small corner round. So let's do that first. We'll get our flowers the right way around. Isn't this beautiful, this paper? It is 70s styled gift wrap. Now I'm going to need to put glue on this one. I'm just using glue stick again because the gift wrap is very thin. It's not very friendly, to be honest. For art glitter glue, it'll show all the bumps. Now, this one, our sentiment for her says, not only does my mind wander, sometimes it walks off completely. I can be quite forgetful sometimes too, so I kind of get it. Now I've got her sitting off to the side because you can see that her arm is chopped off, and it was like that in the image in the magazine. Let's ink her. Put a little bit of ink around her because she has white cardstock on the back. I've got some, you can see that I've dry embossed them as well as stamped them, and I'm going to just position them around her so that they give her a little bit of a relief from the background so we can see her. I'm going to stagger them a little bit, put her like that. Let's glue that one on first. I like that. It's going to be our tag at the top, our tab at the top of the tag. We need to get it on first. Yes, that'll work, won't it? And we'll glue this one on. We have her, and I've got her sitting like that. I think what we'll do is we will tuck one in down here around her waist. Let's cut this one down so that I can use it on the back of Okay. I'm just cutting a piece off so I can glue it on the back of this tab here. And we'll tuck this other one down around her waist. We might glue her down. Let's get her chopped off a little bit and glue her on. How's my time going? I'm getting close. I think I've got about 5 minutes or so. A little bit more than 5. We'll tuck this one in here. Just to help with showing the shape of her dress. Oh yeah, she looks good too, doesn't she? She looks very 70s. Okay, we're not cutting those two off. Just going to cut this one off. Let's glue her dress down a little bit more. Stick them together. Oh, it's going to be close again. It's going to be close again. Okay. Now I have one of these for the back, and we saved a little piece of this for the back. So let's glue those on. And I'm going to put this one on here, but I'm not going to glue it all down. I'm going to leave it a little bit as a tuck spot to tuck in a journaling spot on the back. We'll just let that glue, and we'll put that underneath the mat and pull out the other ones. Okay, now our man, we need to glue his sentiment on, so let's cut that as close as possible and put it on. I think I'd like it just above his belt. Okay, now we'll put some holes in. Put our pencil through it to stretch it. And our man here, I might put a little bit of black ink on him. Let's bring out our black soot, because I didn't do a very good job of hiding that top edge. So let's just put a little bit of ink around it to define it. Yes, he's pretty cool actually. Something a bit different. We'll put a hole in him. I can see where the center of that one is. And I'm just putting some eyelets on just to set it. Oh, there we go. There's one. What color are we going to put on her? One's quite good. It's a dark grey. And And we've got that one set. Now let's pull out our other one. And we need to put our sentiment on her. I think I like it down the bottom, near her belt again. Let's do that. Let's look at the time. Yes, we're on 31 minutes. I didn't make it again. 31 minutes. Well, that's 1 minute better than the last time, isn't it? I was 32 minutes last time. Now, I do want to just, actually, I'll just take that back off. I do want to just dirty that up a bit. It's a bit clean. Okay, well now that we know that I haven't made it in the 30 minutes, let's finish them off. Make them look pretty. I think I'd like to put an eyelet on here and put a dangle in it. And I have some keys here because she looks like she is always forgetting where she put her keys. Which that's pretty cute, isn't it? So I think we'll put an eyelet in the top and an eyelet in the side of this one. Let's go black. We'll do 2 black ones. And I'll just stretch that hole, the pencil. I can't believe I didn't make it again. Eh? I thought that I was not being too ambitious. I had quite a few things ready and thought I should be able to get 3 tags done in time. No, I didn't. Okay, now I did have a handbag for her, but I don't think I need it on her. I don't think I need anything on him. I think he is just Mr. Sophistication, isn't he? But let's put the keys on her. Let's see if I have... Oh, yes, I've got a safety pin that I can pin on the keys for her because she's always losing her keys. There we go. She looks pretty cute, doesn't she? And I've left the tuck spot so that we can slide in a journaling spot there. That looks nice. Okay, let me clear the decks and we'll have a look at these and I'll show you the other 2 that I made before. I'll see you soon. Okay, so let's have a little look at our tags. This is the first one we made, and doesn't she look lovely? She's in her dress that she made, and she is wearing it again because it says here, I didn't see anyone today, so I'm wearing this again tomorrow. And she's floating in lots of circles of bubbles. I'm not sure what she's thinking, but they look like she's deep in thought, those big bubbles, don't they? They kind of go with the blobs on her dress. And then we've just got a circle on the back to do some journaling. You can see that I've done a little bit of black line work just to define the edges a bit, and I've put on a little bit of seam binding. So there we go. There's our first one. Then we did our gentleman here who's about to hit the town and maybe go to a nightclub or go to the poker. He looks like a hustler to me, and it says here, I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. So he's going to pick his subjects, that's for sure. You can see I've inked a little bit, put a little bit of line work around, and there's somewhere on the back to journal and maybe even put something else. So there we go, there's that one. Then we have our forgetful person, and I have put on some keys for her because she always forgets her keys. Her sentiment says, "Not only does my mind wander, sometimes it walks off completely." So I just put on a little bit of some keys because then she'll know where they are. And this image here of this lady, it was from a dress pattern advertisement in the Woman's Day. And you can see that I've used some 70s paper in the background. I've stamped and punched out some shapes, and then I've also dry embossed them. And then on the back, we have just a tuck spot for some journaling. Then our lady that I made the other day is this one here. You can see that I used that paper again. I used some gift wrap. It is 70s inspired paper, and I've put on a cocktail because she looks like she's going to a cocktail party. She's dressed up in her best dress, and she's got a interesting expression on her face. So I've put here, "I am silently correcting your grammar." She looks to me like she would be listening with a cocktail in her hand and then having thoughts about what you were saying and maybe correcting your grammar. On the back, there's a journaling spot, and you can see that I have just done some dry embossing and also inking, and just to pick up some texture. And then our last one is from a advertisement in a newspaper of this young lady, teenager. She looks like she's a late teens, and I've just put on some washi tape. I've die cut out some little buttons. I stamped some numbers and things about clothing, and then I heat embossed them. And then I dry embossed it after I had heat embossed it. And then I've just put some lines around it and a journaling spot on the back. So there we go. There's our 70s inspired tags. Hopefully it's inspired you to make some different things, and when you're flicking through papers to look at the images a little bit differently. I had a great time making these and creating lots of little stories along the way. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel. That would be great. And I will see you all very soon with another project. Bye for now.